So we're just going to get started with cleaning up me and the space. Let's go ahead and move your body with me. Beautiful. So thanks for joining me. So as you may be able to see, I do have chat here. I'm going to check it as I go. So if you have any questions or observations or would like to know more about something, I may be able to answer it, or we may be able to refer it to Dean. He and I did an amazing ceremony yesterday, so I'm not sure whether you guys got to watch that. It was fantastic. It was so gorgeous. And yeah, it's just so remarkable to be able to share this with you. As you may have noticed, the sky is filled with gorgeous, dark, juicy black clouds. And so one of the things that I learned from Dean, and it's something that's coming through for me too, is like, where do we stop when we get a bit of what we want? Like, where do we actually stop when we're like, oh, well, I kind of got a bit of what I want? And yeah, does that actually work for you to stop where you get a bit of what you want? And I'm just wondering if you would like to have way more of what you want in the world. Like, what would it be like for you to have way more of what you want? And nature is actually set up for abundance. It's amazingly set up for abundance. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that, when the leaves pop out on a tree, you don't just get 6 leaves or 60 leaves or even 600 leaves. There's like 6,000 leaves. It's not a lack of abundance. And so everywhere we have been experiencing a lack of abundance in our own hearts, it's showing up in the world. It's absolutely showing up in the world as a lack of abundance. And so is it a lack of abundance of rain? Yeah. Where we are right now, people have had really remarkable experiences, and not the kind of experiences that you would sign up for. Their livelihoods have been removed from them. And, their life savings have been, burnt up. Their beautiful properties have been burnt up. And, there's been a low grade level of fear. There's been a low grade level, an extreme grade level of fear in some parts of the Okanagan Valley with these fires. And, like I just don't remember it being of this magnitude ever before. And I think what we need to focus on is, what do we want to manifest for the future? Like, what do we want to say yes to? And where are we okay with a little bit of help? Where are we okay with a little bit of rain? Where are we okay with a little bit of abundance in our lives? And so, as you can see from the comments, the caption, Dean wasn't able to come today. We were going to actually do an amazing full moon ceremony and record it for you guys. And I was ready to go. And so I thought, well, why don't I just jump on and, let you experience how beautiful the place is where I live, and just really focus on nature and focus on the sky, where these remarkable rain clouds are showing up, and it's just so gorgeous. And so for me, I've done consciousness studies for a really long time, and so I'm aware of the places and spaces where, when things start to show up the way that I would like them to, I have been taught, I've been trained to ask for more. But yet, there's still places in my life where I could probably ask for way more. And so I'm wondering, who's watching and where are you watching from? I would love to see you put your comments in the chat wherever you're watching. I should be able to pick them up on the Restream chat. And if I can't, I'm certainly going to find them later and address them. And if it's a question for Dean, I will definitely refer it to Dean. If you're watching and you're a friend of Dean's, if you could tag him in the comments. I wasn't able to do that from where I am right now. So I wonder what it would be like for us to have just a really remarkable experience, starting to talk about abundance and what's available for you. Now, Dean talks about unconditional love, and Ulu love. And so I don't know if you caught his broadcast, but unconditional love is like, I love you no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're being, no matter what. I'm just, I'm committed to loving you to the detriment of myself. And love is ownership. Love is like, oh, I'm married to you and now I own you. And you have to do everything I say and be everything I want you to be. And Ulu love is a beautiful balance. It's like you're able to call people on their shit. You are certainly not owned by anyone, and you don't owe them anything. You are a meeting of equals. And so have a look at nature. Like, where are we making nature the place that we aren't a meeting of equals? Like, are we meeting nature where nature can meet us? There's lots of comments on the internet, like, are we taking care of the forests? Are we looking after them the way that we used to? No, no, we're not. And is there something that we could do differently? Absolutely. Could we take care of people better? Absolutely. Could we have a meeting of equals? Absolutely. And so thinking about that for the microcosm and the macrocosm. Do you guys get that? So the microcosm is what's happening in our own lives, and the macrocosm is what's happening in the world at large. And so if you look at what's happening in the world at large, is there's a lot of things that are out of control right now that you don't have control of. And so is it that bleeding into your own personal life? Are there a lot of things in your personal life that you feel like you don't have control of? And so these are just some topics that I'm bringing up that we could possibly talk about tonight with this moon, and set some intentions about how you want the macrocosm to reflect the microcosm, and how you want the microcosm to reflect the macrocosm. Like, what can you bring into your own personal life that will change your frequency, that will allow you to be a different person when you wake up tomorrow morning? Like, is it love? And is it balance? Is it like, okay, well, I love me, but I also know that there's some things that I do that or annoying to me and probably annoying to other people. And so, thinking about that for yourself, like what is it that you say that you would like to change if we're looking at the microcosm, your own personal life, the things that you say that you would like to change about you, the stuff that you tend to sort of nag yourself about or you complain about, like, why can't I freaking change this about me? So we were talking about this in my household today about that it was about being a woman and pregnancy and how it used to be really quite sacred when a woman was having a baby. It was a huge celebration, and because it was really difficult to make it through a pregnancy without dying, and then it was super difficult to make it through birth without dying, and then it was really, really difficult to make it to get healed back up so that you could maybe have another baby. And then it was also really difficult to make sure that that baby grew up to be an adult, you know. And so I think in some ways we are spoiled. We're expecting the world to take care of us. And there has to be a meeting in the middle. There really has to be a meeting in the middle where we do the work. We're like, okay, well, I'm not happy with what I weigh right now, or I'm not happy with the level of vitality that I have in my body, or I'm not happy with the amount of money that I have in my bank account. And so we can't expect the world to take care of us. We actually have to do our part. So when you think about an infinity loop, it's like I do my part and then the universe does their part. And so if I'm constantly flubbing up my part and the universe is trying to meet me in the middle, well, then this is the part where real alchemy happens, is when you're willing to do your part. And so think about that for yourself. Like, what is your part? You probably have it in your mind, those things that have been difficult for you. And they may have been difficult all of this lifetime and all of the other lifetimes too. And so I'm not saying they're not difficult. What I am saying is that it may be that you have been settling for a little, just a little, and that's enough. So, like one apple grows on the tree and you're super excited about it and you go out and eat it. It might be super delicious, but it's like, what can you do to the tree to make sure that way more than one apple shows up for you? Have you been watering the tree? Did you prune the tree? Did you, like here in the Okanagan, it's been so dry. We ended up getting those like boots that you put on the bottom of your tree, and you fill them up every day. And we actually have irrigation in our garden, so I'm lucky that way. What way am I pointing? That's my garden. And so I thought you guys would really enjoy that. So if you go the opposite way of this little Christmas tree thing is where I'm sitting right now. I have a studio in the garden. And so, yeah, it was interesting. Like I got some information with the last meditation that we did, Dean and I, Chief White Bison. And it was about liquidity, about irrigation and about the amount of water and liquidity that you're allowing into your life. So think about it, how dry does the land get? How dry do sticks get, and how brittle? And so thinking about that for you, like having a look at your own body, is there an amount of brittleness, inflexibility in your own body? And what would it be like? Like, what do you need right now to bring in the flexibility into your body? Do you need way more water? Do you need way more water in your body? It's interesting. My naturopath was telling me that people over 35 are chronically dehydrated, chronically. Like they think that they need Botox, but really they just need a fuck ton of water. And, they think that they have arthritis, but really they are just really, really not lubricated. And so I got myself this scale that shows me what my water content is in my body, and I am like super dehydrated, and I've really been on a kick to try to add way more water to my body. And so again, you're thinking about the microcosm and the macrocosm. So I'm living in a valley where there's not enough water, and I am living in a body where there's not enough water, not enough liquidity. And and then you think about abundance, like liquidity is a financial term. It's like, oh, do you have all of your money tied up in real estate and investments? How much liquidity do you have? And then future forward, like what is the liquidity of what it is that's coming in for you? Are you getting paid in cash? Do you have clients that are coming up, every week, or walking into your place of business every day? Or are you kind of like waiting for a lottery win? So thinking about this big rain that I keep asking for, that will be kind of like a lottery win. We did get a nice juicy rain here in Coldstream, and there was a juicy rain yesterday in Kelowna when I was in Kelowna. But more, like where have you been programmed to ask for so little? And nature does not care how much you're asking for. If you're asking in gratitude and if you're receiving in gratitude, nature's like, here, have way more, have so much more. And you think about the salmon spawning, they don't just like squirt out 3 eggs and they're done. They squirt out like how many? Is it hundreds of thousands? Is it tens of thousands? Somebody's going to have to let me know. But when I think about the salmon spawn, there's so many salmon spawning and so many eggs. It's just like, this is what nature wants you to have. And so where are we just taking a tiny little bit because we don't want to be an obligation, or we don't know how to receive? Like there's so many things, like probably both of those things and so much more. And so this is what I want to invite you to today. And the way that I heal is with my voice and with my body. And so we've already started the healing by being together. And so if you see this message, please share it where appropriate. If you're enjoying it, then great. I would love to see some comments from you in the chat. And it'd just be really helpful to come and play. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to invite the masters to come out and play so I know what you guys would like to talk about. So just drop into your body. Maybe put your hand on your belly button and your hand on your heart. We've been so programmed to be in our heads. So if you've been programmed to be in your head, congratulations. You've probably had a Western education. So get down into your body. The other thing that came up when we were at the creek was kindness. Kindness. Now, isn't that the universal lubricant? Kindness is just so liquid. It's so easy to receive kindness, and it's so easy to gift kindness. And are we doing it? Are we doing it? Are you making it an effort to be kind? Are you making an effort to find people who are willing to be kind to you? Or do you just want to pay attention to all of the places and spaces where you can bring kindness into your own little microcosm, your own home? Like, is it a kindness? Like, Dean and I were supposed to meet today, and he's like exhausted after yesterday. He like pulled out all the stops yesterday. It was a remarkable, gorgeous healing for both of us. And now he needs to go sleep it off. And so that's one of the things that you guys may not know about shamanic. healing and shamanic rituals like shit before the ritual. Sometimes we feel like shit after the ritual. Like it does take a lot out of people's bodies. Not everybody, but for me, I was exhausted this week coming into us working together. And now Dean's exhausted today. And so it's time to pass on the baton. And so you don't have to be on every day, all day. And that's another thing that, like maybe talking about kindness, like what would it be like if you didn't have to be on every day, all day? I can hear the helicopters again. So this may be our local helicopter just coming home for the day. I sure hope so. Awesome. So first thing I want to talk to you guys about is how much do you believe in serendipity or magic or miracles? Like, is it something that you're like, okay, it's okay for Jennifer to ask for a miracle for me, but I can't ask for a miracle for me? Or it's okay for Dean, Chief White Bison, to ask for a miracle for me, but I can't ask for a miracle for me. And why not? Do you have to have training? This is such an old paradigm where people used to go to someone else to get a miracle. And you are fully capable of creating miracles in your own life, fully capable. And I want you to know that about you. You're fully capable of it. Now, here's what does happen when people get together, though. What happens when people get together is that the transmitter gets bigger. So if two people get together, it takes two people to create a new reality. But imagine if 3 people, 4 people, 5,000 people, 10,000 people get together. That is supersonic. So yes, you can create miracles in your own life. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from doing that. It's just more powerful when you are in company. And so that's why I would love for you guys to share this message wherever you feel that it's appropriate. And I want to move into stress. I want to move into feeling scared as fuck. So let's just do a meditation. If you can, just close your eyes wherever you are. Just feel into your body. Put your hand on your heart and your belly button and feel into that place that's just right in the middle, like right below your heart, and make towards the back of your body, right in the center of your body. Okay. And so if you're feeling something there that resonates as fear or stress, I want you to just sit with it. Just want you to sit with it and witness it. Sometimes what people need is to just be sat with, and feelings just need to be sat with. They don't need to be medicated. They don't need to be, you don't need 2 stiff drinks. Although sometimes it can be fun. What it does is it just shows the feeling down and then it gets bigger. So let's just sit with that fear and stress. Just sit with it. So you might notice that when you sit with it, it can get bigger because you've been spending a lot of time trying to make it smaller, which takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And so what I know is when we allow stuff to get bigger, it can dissipate. It's easier to take something bigger away. So let's just let it get bigger, a little bit bigger. And take a breath into it. And take another breath into it. Now, here is an earth-shattering question. Is it your fear? Is it yours, or are you just picking it up off the social Wi-Fi? And in most cases, I would say 99% of the time, you're picking it up off the social Wi-Fi. And so this is true of human beings. You are able to sense at least a 7-kilometer radius around your body. And so if you live in an apartment building or you live in a place where in the 7 kilometers where you live, there's tons of other people, somebody might be watching a scary movie. Somebody might have just had like a fight with their spouse. And so you're picking it up as yours, but it actually exists in other people's bodies. And so what do we do with that? So we notice that there's fear and stress. And so, what I invite you to do is just put your hands on the fear and the stress and just say, thank you. I would like to return this fear and stress to sender with a boatload of consciousness and kindness attached. And then just open your hands and return it to sender. And so when you clear an energy out of your body, you have to replace it with something else. It's like gardening, right? You pull out a weed, you put in a flower. So how would you like to feel? So I'm just going to guess that you would like to feel a little bit of joy and peace. So just maybe put your hand right on your sternum and just think about the most joyful, peaceful place you've ever been in your life. And if you've never been in a joyful, peaceful place, then just make one up. You're like, okay, Venice, that would be joyful. Might not be peaceful. Or maybe in a hammock on a beach somewhere with somebody playing you some gorgeous guitar. That's where I'm going to go. So just put that in that place that you took the stress out of. Put that beautiful, peaceful, joyful energy in there. And so today we're asking for rain, juicy, juicy rain. And so here's the thing that I've noticed is not that many of us are allowing ourselves to have a juicy life, a juicy experience. We're just transactional. It's like just the straight goods. I'll just have the straight goods, not juicy. And so what is juicy? Juicy is like a peach right off the tree. I have a peach tree in my yard, and I'll tell you what, a peach right off the tree is freaking fantastic. And so that's juicy. And nature wants you to have juicy. Like, think about how primal juicy is. It's just amazing. And so let's make an ask. So, everywhere my life is not juicy, everywhere your life is not juicy and succulent and gorgeous and joyful, let's just ask that to show up for you. Say, universe, show me what's juicy for me. Bring what's juicy for me. Make that demand. And then add that juiciness out into the universe. Just broadcast it from your heart out into the universe. And send just a picture, bright, just gorgeous, deep, dark, juicy clouds. Just so succulent. Going across the landscape. Just all the way, the whole sky full of dark, juicy, succulent clouds. Just so full of rain. And call them in right over top of your head. Wherever you are. And if you are in a rainy place, if you could send it to me, that would be wonderful. And just fill up the sky as far as you can see. As far as you can see. With dark, gorgeous rain clouds. Just call them in. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, pretend you know how to do it. Or just say, hey, body, let's just do what Jennifer's body is doing. Let's bring it in. Just imagine there's a magnet right in the center of your body, and it can pull in absolutely anything that you're looking for. So right now we're looking for juicy, juicy, succulent rain for the Okanagan, just because we can. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask this to run for the next 7 days. This is what Dean and I want. We want 7 days of ground soaking rain. Just beautiful, beautiful ground soaking rain. And so if this is something that you would like to show up, I would love for you to share this message. And before I go, I just want to remind you that if you can quiet your heart once a day, quiet your mind once a day, go into meditation and really hold this as true, be totally grateful for all the rain that's already happening, because there's no past, present, future. That's a construct. So there's rain happening already. And so just imagine, like viscerally, walk out with bare feet into the rain and imagine your feet standing in mud, gorgeous mud, maybe out on your lawn, in a mud puddle on your lawn, and just be so grateful that your lawn has been watered by nature, and be so grateful that trees are getting watered by nature, and be so grateful. Just maybe even imagine the forest fires being quieted by nature. Just imagine, like maybe even pop yourself into the forest where this is happening and hold a rake in your hand and pretend you're putting out fires in your mind's eye, and just feel that downpour coming on top of you. You got your protective gear on, and just feel that rain come down, and feel the bubble of glee come up in your heart, because this is showing up for you and us. And so that's what I want to leave you with today. And I want to thank Dean. I know that he wasn't able to make it today, and I want to thank him for his transmutation of his body today, and for taking care of himself, and for sleeping. This is super important, you guys. We have to take care of ourselves. And so if you made a promise to somebody, or you've made plans with somebody, you don't always have to go. You're not out of integrity for taking care of your body. You're never out of integrity for taking care of your body. And so thinking of the microcosm of your own body, and then you're never out of integrity for taking care of nature, for taking care of the forests. And so I wonder what's possible, you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye, guys.